Good evening. Welcome to the Oil Dorado Room, the official temporary home of Taft City Hall. I want to welcome you all to the Taft City Council Successor Agency joint regularly scheduled meeting for Tuesday, October the 1st. Before we get too deep into the business, if you've got one of these, and I think everybody who's third grade or above has one, please put it on vibrate or silence that for me, and it won't interrupt us. We're going to begin this evening's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by myself, followed by the invocation by Councilman Whiting. So if you could join us all, please. Hand over your heart, salute and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody, if you'd like to bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for every day that you give us your blessed gifts and you watch over us as we perform the duties that we are assigned to us and that we volunteer to do to help this city, this county, and our state and our federal government. Please bless our troops and their families, whether they are here or serving abroad. Keep them safe. Hold them in the palm of your hand. And Lord, please come down to us anytime you wish and bring us your divine wisdom and help us get through all the trials and tribulations that we have that we need to take care of here, both in the city of Taft and the county of Kern. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Knorr.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Here.
Councilmember Bryant.
Here.
Councilmember Eveland.
Here.
And Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
All right. Item number 1. Are we prepared for item number 1? Carla? No, not yet? Okay, looks like we're going to have to do a little work on that, or?
Well, it looks like a presentation was prepared.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have to talk to you.
Okay. Excellent. You know what? We talk all the time and we listen too. So, item number 1 this evening is a presentation by Carla Hutcherson of the U.S. Census Bureau.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say my apologies for not making the last meeting. My mother passed, so I do apologize that I was not able to make it. But I want to thank you for inviting me back and letting me come tonight. So my name is Carla Hutcherson. I'm a partnership specialist with the U.S. Census Bureau. I am in Kern County. I'm based out of Bakersfield. And so what my position entails is engaging, encouraging, and educating the community about what the census is. So over the next few minutes, I'll just kind of talk about what the census is, why it's important, how to self-respond, and then how we can partner together to make sure Kern County gets a complete count for the 2020 census. So, what is the census? A lot of people think of it as a number on a population sign or a head count, but it's a lot more than that. The census is important for several reasons. The first is that it's mandated by our Constitution. We've been doing this since 1790. It's also for reapportionment and redistricting. So it's our 435 congressional seats. It's also redistricting as far as voting lines, school districts, things such as that. Also for planning, where are you going to build your next hospital? Where are you going to build your next school? And last but not least, no, actually there's another reason. It's your civic responsibility. It's your way to say that I count and to be a part of democracy. And last but not least, $675 billion annually. That's distributed across the United States based on census numbers. So, next slide. The next slide that I would have had would have talked about the dollars. So as far as California in fiscal year 2016, which are the numbers that I have, we got $115 billion, and that's divided over 132 programs. So In the last census, over 1 million children were not counted. So that equates to funding in dollars lost. And the Central Valley notoriously is known for undercounting. So I want to make sure as a resident of Kern County that we get the funding that we're entitled to by making sure that we get a complete count. So kind of a timeline of what we're doing. I'm going to start with 2019, kind of where we are right now. We're doing what's called address canvassing. So that's where we do have feet on the street. We do have people going out with badges. And one way to tell if they are a true census worker, they will have a badge that does have a watermark and an expiration date. So if you're unsure, we also have a phone number that you can call to check and make sure that it is a true census person. But right now, they're not knocking on doors. What they're going out and doing is verifying addresses, making sure that the addresses that we have on file are correct. And if they're not, we're going in our system and changing them. Another thing that we are doing right now is that we have the Kern Complete Count Committee. So that's for the whole county of Kern, and what they're doing is they're getting together, strategizing on how to reach out to the hard-to-count populations. What is a hard-to-count population, you may ask? The LGBTQ community, minorities, non-English speakers, you've got migrant workers. So all of those encompass hard-to-count populations, the homeless. So they're strategizing on how we can reach those to make sure that we do get a complete count. So how are you going to get your mailings? Okay. You're going to get 5 mailings in the mail. They're going to start on March 12th. You get the first one. And then we'll send another one. Just in case your neighbor may have gotten yours, we'll send it out 5 times. So there's no reason someone can say that they didn't get the mailing. For the first time in 2020, we are utilizing online. You can fill out your census online. We've never done that before. In the era of technology, it's something that is needed and something that's easy for people. Another way that you can fill out the questionnaire is by calling. So if you don't have a computer or internet connection, you can call. Another way is the old-fashioned way. You fill out the form and you mail it in. So you have those 3 options. If you do not do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to get this. You're going to get a knock on your door, and someone is going to come by your door 6 times. If you do not answer the door, they'll come 6 times to help you fill out the form.
This is every household?
Yes.
Every household?
Yes.
So you're going to send 5 mailings to every household, and then possibly send a human being to each of the non-responsive places 6 times.
6 times. So
what is the anticipated cost of all these services?
I can get back to you on that. So what we're trying to do is get people to self-respond. So that's why I'm here talking to you guys tonight, is to help us to get people to self-respond, because it does save us tax dollars, if we can get people to self-respond. So that's the purpose in starting now and getting out there and talking to people and encouraging people to self-respond. I'm glad you asked that question, but I will make a note to get back to you.
Well, the reason I ask is that is an awful lot of work and an awful lot of mail, and if we're going to spend $85.5 billion trying to figure out how to distribute $100 billion, we're not going to have a lot of money left. So,
economic stimulus.
as you came by the numbers, that's a substantial workload. So that is why I asked the question.
It is, absolutely. So that's why we're trying to get help.
All right, thank you.
And because we know that English is not the only language spoken here in America, we do have other languages available. We have 12 non-English languages where they have the assistants where they can call in and someone can assist them on the phone. The other 47 non-English languages, they will have a guide that they can follow. They can't do it by phone, but we do have guides that they can follow. It's a glossary where they can look at it and point to what they know is their language, and then we can hand it to them and they can go through and fill it out that way.
How many languages?
Altogether, including English, 60.
Oh, wow. All right.
Okay. Another thing is that people are very leery of the government right now, and so we're making sure that a point that we do emphasize is that the information is confidential All of our information is statistical only. And if you work for the Census Bureau, you take an oath. It's not a one-day oath. It's not during the course of the census oath. It's a lifetime oath. If we violate that, it's 5 years in an orange jumpsuit in the federal penitentiary and a $250,000 fine. So there are stiff penalties if someone violates those laws, and it's Title 13 is the name of the law. So what can you do to help? So one of the things, and in your folder, there is information on social media. So you can follow us on social media, or you can put a link on the city's website that directs people to the census with the census logo. That is something to direct people to look at the census. You guys are the trusted leaders in the community. So having you go out and speak to the community and speak about the importance of the census is something else that can help. Another thing is a complete count committee. I know I talked about the Kern County Complete Count Committee, but that's for the whole county. This is your city. Who knows the city better than you? You live here. You know it. So I would love to see Taft have a complete count committee. So if you look in your folder, there's some information about a complete count committee. And the way that it's set up is that usually an elected official is the head, and then you will have an education person, a business person, someone who's in the healthcare field. So in different facets of the city, all on the complete count committee that can reach faith-based, all different areas of your community. And you come up with strategies and ideas as to how you're going to reach those hard-to-count communities. Some of the things that the current Complete Count Committee that they're doing is they're partnering with the library. So if you don't have internet and you want to fill it out, or you don't have a computer, you can go to the library and they're opening up their computers to where you can go in and do the census there. They're also putting up kiosks in different places. So if you don't have somewhere to go and you don't want to go to the library, you can go to the kiosk and fill it out. So those are just some things that they're doing. They're also going out and knocking on doors in different areas just to talk about the census with people in the area. So my ask from you tonight is to form a complete count committee. So I would like to know if you will form a complete count committee.
I think that's something we need to discuss
I don't
before
think
we
can
commit.
consider that unless it's on the agenda.
Right.
Officially, is that correct? Okay, I'm sorry. So we can take that, but we cannot, as a council, make a commitment to do such because it's not an agendized item. So we can't take action.
Okay.
I do have another question for you, though.
Yes, sir.
In this, when you talk about going in and getting responses as well as talking to people, you're talking about 18 years and older. What is the age break of those people that you will interview and ask the questions of?
So it is whoever the homeowner is. You mean who fills out the census form?
Mm-hmm.
It's the head of household.
The head of household,
Yes. Yes.
whatever age that might be.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes.
You were saying you get 5 mailers. If you respond to the first one, you still get 4 more?
You do not.
Okay.
So if we encourage people to do the first mailer, that's going to save a lot of money too. So when you get it in the mail, fill it out or do it online or call, whatever your method is that you want to use to respond, then we won't send you anything else.
I got a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
So in the era of junk mail, and we get more junk mail now than we know what to do with, what's going to make these mailers stand out? Because at the end of the day, you're probably going to see it. Oh, it's another ad, toss it in the trash.
I don't know what's going to make it pop, but you know what? That's a really good question, and I can ask that question and see and get back to you.
That's a great question because you're absolutely right.
What's going to make it pop? Okay.
And once we know what it's going to look like, if you can hand it out at the very least to municipalities like this, we could obviously promote that. Let folks know, hey, this isn't junk mail, but you can actually know what it looks like first.
I will certainly get that information and follow up with you. What other questions do you have?
Okay. We have any other questions for Carla? Now's the time to stand up and be counted. You're welcome, Carla.
So,
That's funny.
so can we, when can we put it on the agenda to have an answer?
Well, we'll have to ask Yvette about that. In order for the government body to take action on something like that, it has to come before the council as an agendized item.
And we can bring something back at next meeting.
Okay, there you
Maybe a
go.
study session or something like that, just to see what it would entail in terms of staff time and whatnot.
Right.
We can do that.
Okay. And it may not be myself that comes. I do have other partners in Kern County, so I just want to put that out there too. It's on my slide, their information. Gloria Flores and then Robert Lee.
All right. Because if we don't answer the mailer, then the three of you have to go to every house in Kern County.
No.
sometime.
We are hiring, just so you know too, we are hiring 300 to 500 people right now.
Okay,
So if
I
you
believe
know
it.
of anybody who is looking for a job, census.gov/jobs, they're paying anywhere from $17.50 to $30 an hour, depending on
$30
the
an hour?
position. If it's a supervisory
Anybody got one on
position.
my business card?
Side job?
Okay.
Thank you guys very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Carla.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening. Thank you. Okay. Next up, item number 2, citizen requests public comments. This is the time and place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. This evening we have 2 people wishing to address the council. Number 1 would be Dr. Kathy Orn of the Chamber.
Well, good evening. And before I start, I want to let you know that Carla will be bringing her show on another road. She will be our speaker at Sit and Sip a week from tomorrow. So, and we will make sure we have a PowerPoint for you. Anyway, so if you let people know that we have that coming, because there are a lot of questions concerning the census and how that's going to go. I once participated in a homeless count, and I had the good fortune of having cigarettes to give people, which made them more amenable to talking to me. I don't know that you're going to be doing that, though. Just kidding. All right. I want to tell you that our chamber golf tournament last Saturday was a rousing success. We had wonderful support from our sponsors, not the least of which was Huddleston Crane. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We enjoyed it.
You did.
We did. We had
You
fun.
you looked as though you were. And Mark took care of our putting contest, and you were the cheerleader. I couldn't tell which side you were on, but you were cheerleading very nicely. We appreciated
well,
that.
thank you. I golf for the rowdy bunch there that are big-time supporters, and we try to keep things fun.
Well, it was. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. The next thing that is coming up is October 12th, which is the Oil Dorado kickoff, and I'm not going to say too much about that because we have a much more qualified person that is coming on behind me to talk to you about that. But once again, our chamber appreciates the support we get from our city council, our city staff, and we realize that all chambers are not as fortunate as we are, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Leading into that, next up will be Eric Cooper talking about Taft Old Dorado days in the Old Dorado room at the Old Dorado podium.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
No, I was just teasing. I got that third one in.
It's great to be here. Eric Cooper, 407 9th Street, Taft, California. I am speaking tonight on behalf of the Old Dorado Board, and also came to be present this evening in case there's any questions for item number 12 on the agenda for the special event permit, encroachment permit request. It's on the agenda. We're very excited for the upcoming kickoff concert. Old Dorado is about a year away, and this kickoff party, October 12th, will be the really kind of the kicking off point, a traditional thing that we started a few years ago, and it will take place at the Old Dorado headquarters store at 5th and I guess it's 5th and North Streets. So tickets are still available at eventbrite.com, and if you buy your ticket in advance for the party, it's $15 and it's $20 at the door. And we'll have a concert featuring Truxton Mile, we'll have food vendors, we'll have some items that will highlight the upcoming events for El Dorado. The schedule is still very fluid and being worked on, but we are definitely involved in a lot of different activities getting ready for El Dorado. So we look forward to it. We appreciate the items that are being considered this evening for the street concert. We look forward to working with the City of Taft for the 2020 event, and I will be out here if there's any questions for either the street party or the kickoff party or whatever else is coming up. So if there's any questions now or comments.
All right, any questions?
Not quick.
I'm going to take the opportunity to announce, in case I hadn't already, in a collaborative effort with the Chamber, we are going to have the inaugural Oil Dorado Open, the first open golf tournament that is held every 5 years for Oil Dorado. So I sat down with Dr. Warren and her help at the Chamber, talked about the fact that the Chamber tournament is very close to Oil Dorado, and so we are going to combine those efforts, and in 2020 we are going to have the inaugural Oil Dorado Open golf tournament. And I am so excited about it. I just had to let you people know in advance.
Pretty exciting. Now we have 102 things going on in El Dorado. So.
But I'll help you, Eric.
That's great. So we look forward to it and hope to. Yes.
I just want to say, if you haven't had the opportunity, I know October 12th is a kickoff, if you haven't had the opportunity to go see Truxton Mile, right there by itself, local band, local guys, and they do an outstanding job. Very impressive to go watch. So that by itself, not to mention the other 102 things, are more than enough to coax people into getting over there. That is outstanding entertainment.
In addition to Truxton Mile, we are also planning another street party. So that'll be a whole new set of road closure requests during El Dorado. But we are working on finalizing a major, well-known act. We hope to make that announcement soon. So, you know, in tribute to Eddie Money, we are bringing back the street concert. So, on North Street this time.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. The countdown to El Dorado. You know, you think at the end of the last El Dorado, you think, oh, we've got 5 years. That's a long time to plan things. Guess what? Next thing you know, you don't have 5 years. Now you got one, and it's going to happen fast. Great deal of fun. Next up, council statements, non-action. Councilman Whiting, I'm going to begin with you this evening, sir.
I have nothing. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Councilman Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to piggyback on what Mr. Cooper mentioned, in preparation even for the street concert, it's a lot of work. And there's 2 work days scheduled right now. October 5th, which is this Saturday, starting 8 o'clock until TBA, time unknown. There'll be a cleanup effort happening there. If you're interested, I'm sure you can probably just show up, but it'd be best if you RSVP oildorado@yahoo.com. Come one, come all, bring your hands and get some volunteer hours if you need it. Do your community some good and help us get prepared for that. And I believe also October 12th, morning of, starting 8 o'clock to 10. I'm sure there will be some more cleanup as well as some general setup that will be necessary. And so I'd encourage folks, if you're out there in TV land or in the room today, come out and help, because any hand helps. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Be a part of your community celebration, huh? All right. Councilman Evelyn.
Somebody's already stole my thunder, so I'll say no comment, sir.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
And no comment also.
No comment. My
Rare.
goodness. All right. Well, I will have a very brief comment. There was some news that came out, and it's going to be all over the news. You all are going to hear about it. It'll be in the newspaper. It'll be on the evening news. I think Live at 5's already done this, and that was an announcement that the Department of Corrections is reconsidering a contract to extend the operation of the federal correctional facility. They have withdrawn it. Okay, so the fact that there is some talk of the closure of that facility, January 31st, 2020. That is when the contract was to end. It came as a surprise to a great many people, mostly the people that work there, as well as the company that runs that facility for the federal government, and everybody here. We did not know that. So there are many people reaching out wanting answers. You know, why, how long have we known this, all this stuff? Well, we've known it since early this morning. There is going to be a lot of work to be done moving forward to see actually what options exist regarding the operations of that facility and those jobs connected with that. So it's early on in the program, folks. I myself plan on going out to the facility tomorrow. I've been invited by the warden to go out there. And we, as a small community, are fortunate enough that we have a great many resources. And we have good relationships with some very powerful people that hopefully, you know, we can look at things. As human beings, oftentimes we'll focus on something and we think we're coming to a conclusion, and it kind of builds binders into our thinking process. And perhaps when we get additional people to sit down at the table and we broaden our viewpoint and we lose the blinders, then maybe, just maybe, we can come up with a different plan of attack and the outcome will be changed. So that is the viewpoint that we're going to take at this point in time. And there will be more to come. But right now, you know everything we know. All right. Thank you all very much. That's my statement for this evening. Planning Commission report.
Evening, Mayor, council members. First, I want to apologize. I don't know how I missed this last time because I was actually sitting back there. I think I might have been reading the agenda too closely.
Okay, well, you're here tonight, so that's just fine.
My apologies for that. We addressed two items. We're in the process of reviewing, has been ongoing now for a few years, zoning code amendments. And we are looking right now at amendments to our CUP, actually more than just that, the zoning code that deals with alcohol, establishments who sell and serve alcohol, and so we're going through the process of addressing that. City of Taft has kind of a unique issue, which is all of our sales for alcohol, and either from restaurants or from the from stores, bars, those kind of things, they're all located in one precinct, which puts us in a situation where maybe one or two are outside of it. But in the City of Taft, that means that we're always an impacted city. So there's a need to make sure that we're reviewing properly CUPs because they will be required for any person who chooses to open a restaurant and serve alcohol or start a liquor store, whatever. So that's been on the agenda now a couple of times, and we're working our way through that. The other item on the agenda is, I don't know how liquor and massage parlors got on at the same time, but we're reviewing the city's code dealing with therapeutic massage parlors. We're not talking about the criminal code here. This is just the business code section, zoning section, to deal with new requirements that have been approved by the state, and simply just going through and making corrections to make sure that we are in compliance with state law with how we administer our local ordinance regarding therapeutic massage. That's it for today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate the report. Additional department reports. We have Chief McMinn coming up here to chat with us.
Hello, Council Mayor. Sergeant,
Good evening, sir.
Jason, how are you? We were going to go over the statistics for the month of September for the police department, and we have total incidents of 885, calls for service at 392, and our officer initiated incidents, which I like, 493, which does it again, which makes me very happy. Traffic stops at 47. Vehicle and ped check stops, which includes the traffic stops, was a total of 90. Our officers wrote 147 reports. They had 4 traffic accidents, animal control, 23 felony reports, 46 journal information, 1 incident activity, which is like an AOD for another department, and 71 misdemeanors. so for the month of September. Total misdemeanor and felony arrest were recorded at 75, which are, excuse me, 60 misdemeanor arrests and 15 felony arrests, which does include citations. When you arrest somebody with a citation of misdemeanor and you release them, that's considered an arrest.
So that's a cite and release?
Yes, it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And total citations ended up being 74, and we had animal control citations of 5.
All right. Busy month for the troops.
They're doing their jobs, what I appreciate.
Very good, sir.
I realize I sound like a broken record, but
I love it. Go ahead.
493, absolute officer-initiated activity at 493 for this size community is very impressive. These guys are working for us. That's what they're doing out there. They're doing a great job, and I commend you and your troops. You guys are doing a very fine job.
Thank you, Councilman Ewan. Appreciate it. We're going to dive right into our code enforcement. We actually had 3 demos on the books, but we have a new owner listed for 1 demo, so that demo is going to be about 60 days out. But we have 2 demos, and I'm not sure exactly how far out they are. Too bad.
The contract's on tonight's agenda.
Oh, nice. So I'm sure it's coming quick. We've actually completed, are in the process right now of doing 3 abatements, which are with our city works at this time, and we have secured another search warrant, which I will not go into that. But when we have that, we're going to go take another abatement and clean up a nuisance.
Very good.
Any questions?
Thank you very much. The weather's changing. Those of you who haven't noticed, the weather is changing, and with the changing in the weather, actually issues related to vagrancy and drug abuse and other problems like that go from being outside to inside. And along with that is the illegal occupancy of unoccupied buildings, and one very real hazard is a fire hazard, and we all know that. So as we move into the colder months, knowing that we're out there and we're staying ahead of that, thank you very much, Chief. That ensures everybody's safety. So we appreciate your hard work in that regard.
Thank you. And I'd make a call to the public. If you see individuals that are breaking into boarded up homes and the ones that are abandoned and unoccupied, please call. We need those calls to prevent the fires and the other criminal acts that go on inside those buildings. So we'll reach out to the public for their help.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Thanks again, sir.
You bet.
Next up, City Manager statement. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a little bit to do with the code enforcement issue. The more calls we get on these vacant homes, it helps us build a case for our warrants to go on there and take care of those issues when the property owners won't. So we do need those phone calls. If people don't want to call, they can also use the report of concern on our website to report activity at these abandoned houses.
All right, very good. More eyes and ears in the community, the better for everybody. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
City Attorney statements. Jason?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No statement.
No statement. Future agenda requests, gentlemen. Future agenda requests for this evening?
None.
Hearing none. All right. Next up then, consent calendar items 9 through 14. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after regular business items. Are there any items on the consent calendar that any member of the public would like to comment on? Seeing none. Consent calendar items are item number 9, the minutes of the September 17th regular meeting. Payment of bills, some $250,000 or so. Item number 11, Treasurer's Report. Recommendation is a motion to receive and file the Treasurer's Report dated September the 17th, 2019 for the month of June 2019. Item number 12, the special event permit, the encroachment permit, and waiver of fees for the Taft Eldorado concert countdown to 2020. Recommendation there is a motion to approve a resolution entitled, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft approving special event permit number 2019-13, an encroachment permit with all fees waived, authorizing the Taft Eldorado concert at 501 North Street including the closure of North and 5th Streets on Saturday, October the 12th, 2019. Item number 13, travel to Nevada for the annual RIMS conference for 2 police department personnel. The recommendation there is a motion to approve out-of-state travel for Chris Carpenter and Pete Aranda to the annual RIMS conference in State Line, Nevada for the week of October 14th to October 18th, 2019. And then finally, item 14, accept a bid and award agreement in the amount of $24,901 to NSM Recycling, Inc. for the demolition of 3 single-family abatement project. Is that going to change based on what the chief just said?
We're going to approve all of them, and then we're going to work with the other one legally to see what we can do.
All right,
we would
very
like
good.
to have it approved in case we can move forward.
All right, thank you very much then. The recommendation there is a motion to accept the bid in the amount of $24,901 from NSM Recycling Incorporated and approve entering into an agreement for same. Does any councilman wish to remove any of these items from the consent calendar? Hearing none, I would like to remove item number 13, please.
Me too.
Therefore, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 9, 10, 11, 12, and 14.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer?
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Councilmember Eveland?
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting?
Yes.
And Mayor Knorr.
Yes. There you go, Eric. Congratulations.
It was close.
All right. Item number 13, travel to Nevada for the annual RIMS conference for 2 police department personnel. City Manager Joe.
Thank you, Mayor. Every year, the police department sends 2 employees to the annual RIMS conference, South Lake Tahoe, California. The purpose of the conference is to receive the yearly updates to the police reporting management system. This year, the annual RIMS conference will be held October 14th through the 18th, 2019 in Nevada. We are asking for permission to send a police lieutenant and administrative assistant to the chief to this conference.
Thank you very much, sir. I asked that we remove this item from the agenda for discussion because I would like for our police chief to come up here and just talk with us briefly about the benefits. Now, I had a chance to read this, as did the rest of the council, but nobody knows better about the applicable benefits of this conference than our very own Police Chief McMinn. So if you would be so kind.
Absolutely, sir. We are going to be sending my administrative assistant, Chris Carpenter, and my lieutenant, Pete Aranda. Both of those are our RIMS assistants, our administrative assistants. RIMS is the process that we use for our reporting system, our CAD systems for dispatching, the systems for towing vehicles. All this stuff is interlinked into the systems that we utilize every day. Now, the updates are for new software updates that they constantly put out to give us new facets of this software, and we have to send those individuals there. So when they go up there, they get this information. They better not be gambling. And no, just kidding. And we need this information brought back to myself included and the other police personnel so they can provide us with the new training updates and the software updates. And we use multiple new facets of the updates, as Chief Whiting knows, to look at stuff that we can actually make our jobs easier or that we can reach out and pull more information in. The statistics that I use today are from our RIMS software.
Nice. And this software is also what's going to be on the computers that we're installing in all the patrol cars so that the guys out on the street can access information real time right there on the street and stay on patrol instead of going back to the office?
Absolutely, and covered that today. We've ordered the Cradle Points today, which are the systems that actually connect to the internet and give us that information and provide it through our computers and link into our software at our hard drives and stuff at the department. And we are in the process of purchasing 15 computers and the Havis units, which are mounted in the cars, which Jeff's aware of also, and locking them into place, and our charging systems and the antennas that actually make this software function. And absolutely, that's going to be a big step in us going into the 21st century.
Excellent. We'll put that technology to work for the people then.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much, Chief. Any other questions regarding this?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Having been responsible with RIMS since about 1999, 98. Not dating myself. But I've been to 2 of the RIMS updates. Usually they're in South Lake Tahoe. They've kept them in California, but then they put it just right over the line in Nevada by 1 block. So because of that, we have to ask for permission to go to this conference because it is travel out of state and city code requires it. But the updates are very important because you don't want to miss these things. When I left, I think we were on update number 22. I don't know what it is now.
We surpassed that a bit.
We might have passed that a few times. But every year you get to also, besides get the updates, you also get to work with the other agencies that are in the collaborative RIMS system, which is, I don't know how many cities and counties are in it now. There's got to be more than 40 or 50 of them in the state now. And all of them run into issues. We sometimes run into issues, but we get to talk about those issues, get them resolved with RIMS. The RIMS people who write the program, who administrate the program, they're there for us to answer those questions. And so when Chris and Pete get to go to this conference, they get to talk to those people personally and find out from the other agencies what works, what doesn't work, and what's important, what's not important, and how we can better serve our constituents with the information that we have. Because let's face it, the RIMS is our bread and butter. We've got to keep that thing up and running because not only does it contain all of our information for reporting, but it also is our computer-aided dispatch. And all that information is integrated, and it's probably one of the most single important pieces of records that we own at the police department. And keeping those updates is a big deal. So it really is important for us to be there every year just to make sure we're doing the right things for the right reasons. So,
and to piggyback off what former chief said, actually the systems are utilized by other agencies inside our county. So we are able to, and we're moving forward to be able to access information from them. Now we cannot change any information that they place in there on their individuals that they contact, but we can actually, looking for somebody, find out if that individual is contacted in Arvin or Shafter, and find out, individuals that other suspects or known associates and whatnot. So it's a far-reaching system. And like former chief said, the CAT system itself is our bread and butter. It's what makes our system run and keeps our troops out on the streets and provides them with the information needed to actually make arrests and the warrant systems and everything else that we go through.
All right, very good. Gentlemen, any other questions?
I was waiting for him to ask questions.
You knew he was going to jump in there.
Well, of course. He's technically sound in this. He knows exactly what we're talking about.
All right, very good. Well, thank you for helping out with that explanation. Absolutely. We appreciate that, Councilman.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for coming before us. All right, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve out-of-state travel for Chris Carpenter and Pete Aranda to the annual RIMS conference in State Line, Nevada for the week of October 14th to October 18th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
A motion second. May we have roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Pryor?
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Councilmember Eveland?
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting?
Yes.
And Mayor Knorr?
Yes, and that passed on a 5-0 vote. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay, that brings our open session to its close. But that also means we've got to go into closed session. So, we have 2 items on this evening's closed session agenda. Conference with Labor Negotiator Craig Jones, City Manager, Government Code Section 54957.6, all units. Conference with Real Property Negotiator Craig Jones, City Manager, Government Code Section 54956.8 for APN number 032-110-30, 032-110-70 and 71 and 308 Church Street. I want to thank you all for coming to the Oil Dorado Room and spending the evening with us. Drive carefully going home.